Good evening. I hope you and your families are doing well. This is Lena Wozlik, the Director of Instructional Technology. As promised, when we met back in August, I'm here tonight to update you on the progress of my office as the Director of Instructional Technology. I am pleased to say that within 30 days, I have either hit or made significant progress on every one of my 30-day goals. I've introduced myself to all staff and begun sending out emails on a weekly basis that include pedagogy, which include both low-tech and high-tech tips. Prior to my move over to central office, I spent a lot of time troubleshooting instructional issues teachers were having in the classrooms, either with meets, tool identification and implementation for lessons, or other software issues that teachers may have been having. I've had lots of conversations with each of the building principals about their visions for their buildings, as well as a meeting planned with Mr. Morcillo to discuss our one-to-one initiative and all that that entails. I've also asked Mr. Johnson to provide me with the dimensions of all the media centers to begin looking at how that may tie into our long-range facilities plan that we have coming up. I've provided professional learning sessions for all staff at all four buildings based on renowned authors, educational researchers, and teachers, John Hattie, Nancy Fry, and Doug Fisher, and their newly released Distance Learning Playbook. They have also released Distance Learning Playbook for Parents, which I ordered weeks ago and was finally released on Monday, and I'm anxiously awaiting my copy in the mail. Once that comes in and I read through it, I will be providing informal informational sessions for parents to help navigate through this time as well, because let's face it, this is new uncharted waters for all of us. Depending on the content of the book and our current situation at that time, I will work out the logistics of the format of this session and communicate that with you as soon as possible. And finally, I'm happy to say that I've found Mr. Mango and Mrs. Gricoletti to be very helpful in terms of feedback, guidance, and support as I make this transition over to central office. And for that, I sincerely thank you. While I've made progress on these goals, I do not want to indicate that they're finished. This is the first layer to much more to come. In fact, you may be saying, how is my office helping our community educationally? You may have noticed I skipped over bullet number 3, not because that hasn't happened, but it's because I wanted to give our new instructional technology coordinators a proper introduction. Last week, I interviewed our instructional technology coordinators, and I believe we have a great team. I would like to congratulate Ms. Carrie Munson from Hatchery Hill, Ms. Leanne Schwenk from Willow Grove, Ms. Wendy Flynn from the middle school, and Ms. Rachel Gorski from the high school. I must stress that this was not an easy selection. These women were not only impressive in their interviews, but were incredibly qualified. We have already had our first meeting, and we're planning our first professional learning opportunities for our staff. They're working on researching some initiatives for the future, but understand that at this point in time, our main focus is on supporting the teachers and the students in our buildings by providing them with the training that they need for the resources that we have at this point in time. If you venture over to the Hackettstown website, you will notice that the Director of Instructional Technology page has been created under the Curriculum tab. There you'll find that there are basic Google Classroom tutorials in both English and Spanish. More building-specific tutorials will be coming soon from our instructional technology coordinators and will be posted as well in English and Spanish. There are also some basic informational resources listed for instructional technology, such as ISTE, or the U.S. government's aptly named Office of Technology Education, as well as resources for those who may need help or resources for dealing with cyberbullying or mental health. There will also be a consistent updating of resources to the page in both English and Spanish, provided by both the instructional technology coordinators and me. You will also notice the tab for instructional development of long-range instructional technology plan. Now, don't get too excited. If you were to click on it, you'll see that it's still very much under construction. But let's not confuse under construction with not a work in progress. In fact, this is something that I've been pouring a great deal of effort into. Our long-range instructional plan is one that's dependent on many things. It will tie into our strategic plan that we work so hard as a collaborative team to build last fall and winter. It has to correspond with our infrastructure plan, our facilities plan, the Office of Curriculum and Instruction, and of course, budget considerations as well. So of course, our primary purpose of our long-range instructional plan is to improve student achievement through the accomplishment of our strategic plan goals. So how do we do that? There are 6 main components as I see this. Now keep in mind, through further conversations, this may change. It's a living document that needs to be pliable and adjustable to the needs of our students, our situation, and our district. The first one, infrastructure, this is going to be in conjunction with Mr. Morcillo and Mr. Havlish's office. Mr. Morcillo and the entire tech team did a great job this summer identifying the needs that we were going to have as a district as we went one-to-one. We increased our bandwidth and access points. I've been so impressed with what our team had been able to do with such efficiency and foresight. We haven't had any significant issues in this area at all. Our cameras have made classroom instruction available to our students at home and ensured that they are receiving the same lessons as their peers in the classroom. Hackettstown School District has truly been ahead of the curve. My office will continue to work with Mr. Morcillo to ensure that our students' needs are being met and moving forward that we have proper procedures in place as we move one-to-one. Number 2, upgrade of facilities in coordination with strategic plan, facilities plan, and budget considerations. Upgrades on facilities and specifics at this point I cannot speak to, but what I can tell you is that I've met with each of the building principals and discussed what they hope to see change in their buildings. I've asked our Director of Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Carl Johnson, to get measurements for the footprints of all the media centers. I do envision this project being organically based. I would love for the kids of each building to have input as to what they would like the spaces to look like. Ideally, I'd love to work with some of the programs at the high school to help design the space and report out to either the community relations or to the board or to both as to what progress is being made. I truly feel having a homegrown investment in these spaces is crucial to having them be utilized to their fullest potential once they're completed. Also to our advantage, 2 of the new instructional technology coordinators, Ms. Schwenk and Ms. Munson, are media center specialists, which I also believe will give us a unique vantage point when considering the redesign of these spaces. We need to make sure that these are functional spaces for individual learning, collaboration, and class environments. We have all seen amazing pictures of futuristic looking spaces, but what is most important to me is that these spaces will be a place where meaningful learning can take place. Speaking of which, a focus on teaching and learning. You may have heard good teaching is good teaching. It doesn't matter what the course is. Well, just like everything else, 2020 is redefining good teaching. Never before did good teaching require teaching kids in a hybrid model while socially distanced, while wearing a mask. Well, our Hackettstown faculty is doing a great job discovering the best ways to engage their students, both physically in front of them while on the computer. They're using programs and trying new methods of teaching. What we will be doing from my office is determining what tools are working and which are not, what tools the teachers are using and which they are not, which tools we could be providing for students, and which tools we could eliminate. It's our hope that we could narrow down our paid subscription to what is being effectively used and either reduce the amount of money spent or reallocate it so that it is better spent in more appropriate areas for the district. Right now, our focus is on improving the practice of what we are already doing, ensuring that teachers are comfortable with the format in which we are operating. This is a new and different year for everyone. We want to make sure that teachers feel supported in this new environment and try things in the virtual world. In order to provide that support, we're going to hit the ground running. I, along with the instructional technology coordinators, have outlined certain goals. We will be creating school-specific Google Classroom guides. We will also begin monitoring the use and implementation of building-specific technology resources. Again, what are we using? We're going to be planning building-based sessions for the October Professional Learning Day. We're going to be doing district-wide monthly newsletters for staff. We're going to schedule monthly Power PDs for staff, a combination of traditional pedagogy and how it translates to a tech world. We will create a schedule so there's a constant flow of PD coming out of my office in addition to what Mrs. Grigoletti is providing for the district. We're also going to plan to incorporate how do I surveys as a constant check-in. Very often people don't know what they don't know. So keeping this as an open form of communication allows people to alert the ITCs and me to what they would like more information on in real time. Number 5, safety and security. My office will work with Mr. Mango, Mrs. Grigoletti, as well as Mr. Morcillo and Mr. Spears as we embark on this one-to-one venture to determine any loopholes in our systems. We're going to close gaps and extensions students may be using or threats to reliability of assessments and other things of that nature. As far as resources, an educational philosopher, Robert John Meehan, once said, the most valuable resources that all teachers have is each other, and that couldn't be more true. We will be researching resources that will benefit our students to help them succeed, to help close the achievement gap, and to make education more fun for them. We will provide resources for the teachers in a way that allows them to have the tools in their toolboxes, but not mandate an implementation of a program after program after program. My role right now is to be one of support and guidance. We will get this through this new world together and carve a new path. While my work on the long-term instructional plan will continue, there are other goals that I will be pursuing and researching as well. An Hour of Code, which originally started in 2013, is a great initiative to bring to Hackettstown School District to increase the awareness of the power of computer science and the impact of coding. I already have our instructional technology coordinators looking into digital citizenship certification for our district to see if they believe it's something that we can reasonably accomplish this year and to begin to put together a plan on how to achieve that at each building. We are also going to look into future-ready school recognition. I spoke earlier of an organic program which will allow students to be involved in the redesign of the media centers. We're also going to take advantage of the situation that the pandemic forced us into and explore the possibility of offering a few complete online courses for our students next year. It is also necessary, and this will be done in conjunction with the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, to really look and reevaluate the curriculum to integrate basic computer skills and digital awareness. On a personal note, I have a second grader in another district who was just handed a Chromebook with no instruction on how to use it or how to properly type. And it's expected that he's to be virtual 3 days a week. That's a disservice. He's frustrated before he even begins his schoolwork, and that's not conducive to learning. I want to make sure that we at Hackettstown School District do better for our students. We together will also review and expand the STEM program so that it's vertically articulated and cohesive in nature. And with all of this, we'll look into digital badging and determine if it's a fit for our district. Everyone loves to see their accomplishments, but we need to do our research and see if this is the way we want to display them. As all of this continues to take shape and our meetings continue, I will keep you updated as to our progress, not only in our program, but as to our plan. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please feel free to email me at lwoslik@hackettstown.org. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a great evening.